Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. What's going to happen is we're going to have some observers come, some researchers are going to come onto campus. The observers are going to record everywhere you go, all day long.
Educators are now operating in a technology-driven world where digital content and delivery systems are commonplace in schools. And the strategic use of student data has emerged as a double-edged sword of sorts that not only promises a new targeted way of looking at student achievement, but also raises serious concerns for schools in terms of data collecting, sharing, and analyzing. The rapid adoption of dynamic educational tracking systems is exciting and promising, as we can now almost differentiate and customize education down to the individual student level. Extremely detailed student performance data can be harnessed, often in real time, to inform policies that improve teaching and impact learning in significant ways. But the widespread use of these systems also raises questions about how student data are being used, stored, and protected. Recent high-profile data breaches at companies like Facebook and Equifax have highlighted the fact that personal data may not be as secure and protected as we would like. When data are used inappropriately, either accidentally or intentionally, there are real consequences that even the designers of these technologies are sensitive to.
We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and that was a big mistake. And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry.
Outside of schools, we give these often free services a tremendous amount of personal information, both directly through likes, tags, photo sharing, posts, and virtually anything you click on. But data are also collected indirectly through what the National Academy of Education calls invisible data that are much less obvious. The NAE provides a list of invisible data that apps discreetly collect on their users, including location data off the cell towers you're near, times when you're on your phone, what kind of phone you have, how long you pause to look at something when scrolling, and other granular information that can be described as keystroke-level data. The use of learning process data is opening a window into student thinking and learning in ways that can substantially improve educational outcomes. Interactive technologies are able to record correct and incorrect answers to questions, response times, student requests for hints, and the aspects of the software in which students interact. When such data are linked to administrative data, there is the promise of understanding with greater depth than ever before how student background and prior experiences interact with learning. But O'Brien, Roller, and Lampley illustrate how a seemingly innocent collection of data can result in students being harmed. In 2015, a teacher in Alabama who required her third-grade students to complete activities on a third-party software platform called LearningPad unintentionally violated students' privacy and caught national attention. Designed to foster a sense of competitiveness, the LearningPad system was publicly posting a leaderboard that displayed student names, completed activities, their class rank, total number of correct responses, and time spent on activities. It's no surprise that students at the top of the leaderboard had no problem with other students seeing their scores, while students at the bottom felt embarrassed and demoralized. Indeed, Stahl and Karger warn that the commingling of various student datasets, demographics, usage, and achievement that are now possible as the result of data interoperability standards has raised the specter of dangerous and privacy-invading misuse, simultaneous with the potential for customizing education for every student. According to Stahl and Karger, a primary concern with student data privacy relates to the fear that recorded student data could be used at a later time to adversely impact the student by interfering with future educational and employment opportunities. This can be particularly concerning because the National Academy of Education states that schools are sharing data with the government that goes way beyond address and parent name. The Parent Coalition for Student Privacy even goes as far as to claim that state and federal governments have pushed to get personally identifiable information on things like hair color, eye color, weight, blood type, dental status, and behavioral data.
So there's been a big push by the federal government and some advocacy organizations for the state to collect as much information as possible on students, personally identifiable information, and share among different state agencies.
So how do educators and schools straddle the line between using data to better meet the instructional needs of their students and the need to protect student privacy? Privacy concerns have initiated major federal and state legislation, specifically the Family Education Rights Privacy Act, or FERPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, and the Protection of Pupil Rights Amendment. But despite these three federal laws that say students' privacy should be protected and that agencies should beef up privacy safeguards, school policymaking ranges from inadequate to non-existent. So this is a problem. A recent survey by Marketplace that examined the views of more than 1,000 parents regarding the use of technology in classrooms found that 79% of respondents were somewhat or extremely concerned with privacy issues. A separate study in 2016 by the University of Phoenix found that 86% of teachers are hesitant to use social media in the classrooms, precisely because of student privacy concerns. Researchers and privacy advocates universally call for the need to establish guidelines and policies for how schools handle student privacy with educational objectives, and this means that student data privacy will be a growing concern as digital technologies continue to integrate into almost every aspect of school life. Researchers Abilock and Abilock insist that to balance student privacy with educational objectives, a district or school must develop transparent guidelines and metrics to evaluate the policies and contracts of its online vendors. For more information, check out Common Sense Education's Guidelines for Classroom Teachers at www.commonsense.org. Thanks for watching.